Picture this: a bustling airport terminal at dawn. The hum of rolling suitcases and hurried footsteps fills the air. Travelers weave through the crowd, clutching coffee cups and boarding passes. Among them, a woman walks with quiet confidence. Her name is Amara Jones, a black woman in her mid-30s, slender, dressed in a simple yet elegant outfit: jeans, a white blouse, and a leather jacket. She pulls a small carry-on, her face calm, her eyes sharp with purpose. There's something about her, a subtle strength that most people miss at first glance. She approaches the check-in counter of Skylink Air, a luxury airline known for its elite service and exclusivity. The counter gleams under the fluorescent lights, adorned with the airline's sleek logo. The young woman behind the desk, dressed in a crisp uniform, glances up. Her eyes scan Amara from head to toe, lingering just a moment too long. There's a flicker of judgment in her expression, barely concealed. Ma'am, are you sure you're at the right counter?" the agent asks, her voice flat, almost patronizing. This is the first-class check-in for Skylink Air. Amara doesn't flinch. She offers a polite smile, her voice steady. "I'm aware. I'm booked for seat A1. The agent raises an eyebrow, hesitating before tapping at her computer. She hands over the boarding pass with a tight-lipped smile, saying nothing more. Amara takes it, nods, and heads toward the gate. But that brief exchange? It's just the first hint of what's to come. Fast forward to boarding. Amara steps onto the plane, her carry-on trailing behind her. The first-class cabin is a vision of luxury: plush leather seats, soft ambient lighting, and the faint scent of lavender. Seat A1, the prime spot by the window, is hers. She settles in, pulling a worn paperback from her bag. The pages are dog-eared, a sign it's been read and loved. She crosses her legs, opens the book, and begins to read, perfectly at ease. But the calm doesn't last. A shadow falls over her. Amara looks up to see a woman standing in the aisle, a white woman in her 50s, dressed in a tailored designer suit, her perfume sharp and expensive. Beside her is a pilot, his uniform pristine, his posture rigid. The woman's lips curl into a smirk as she glances at Amara. "Excuse me," the pilot says, his tone clipped, avoiding Amara's eyes. "This seat is taken." Amara tilts her head slightly, her expression unruffled. "I know," she replies. "I booked it. Seat A1. The woman in the suit scoffs, loud enough for the entire cabin to hear. "Oh, please. You? In first class? Do you even know what this seat costs?" Her voice drips with condescension, each word a jab. Heads turn. Passengers crane their necks, curious but silent. The pilot shifts uncomfortably but doubles down. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to move to the economy section. Let's not make this difficult." Amara's eyes narrow, but her voice remains calm, almost gentle. "I suggest you check the manifest before asking a paying passenger to leave their assigned seat." The pilot's jaw tightens. He's not used to being challenged, especially not like this. The woman in the suit crosses her arms, her smirk widening. "Some people," she mutters, loud enough for Amara to hear, "think they can just waltz in anywhere." The situation spirals. The pilot, visibly irritated, signals for backup. Within moments, 3 security officers board the plane, their boots heavy on the carpeted aisle. The cabin grows quiet, the air thick with anticipation. Passengers whisper, some pulling out their phones. One man in a nearby seat starts live streaming, his camera trained on the scene. "Ma'am," one of the officers says, his voice firm, "we need you to vacate this seat immediately or you'll be escorted off the aircraft." Amara doesn't budge. She reaches into her bag, pulls out her boarding pass, and holds it up. The print is clear. Amara Jones, first class, seat A1. "This is my ticket," she says, her tone unwavering. "I'm not going anywhere." The officers exchange glances, unsure, but the pilot isn't backing down. A flight attendant leans in, whispering something to him. His face hardens. "I've seen your type before," he says, his voice low but venomous. "You think you're special, causing trouble for everyone? Get off my plane." The words hang in the air, sharp and ugly. Gasps ripple through the cabin. The live streamer's phone is still rolling, capturing every second. Amara's expression doesn't change, but her eyes burn with a quiet intensity. She picks up her phone, dials a number, and speaks softly, her words measured. "Activate emergency priority protocol. I'm being denied boarding. On my own airline." The cabin falls silent. The pilot freezes. The woman in the suit blinks, her smugness faltering. "What did you just say?" she demands, stepping forward. "Who are you?" Amara sets her phone down and looks up, her gaze piercing. "My name is Amara Jones," she says, each word deliberate. "I'm the founder and chairman of Skylink Air." A stunned hush engulfs the cabin. The pilot's face drains of color. The woman in the suit opens her mouth, but no words come out. The security officers shift awkwardly, their authority crumbling. The live streamer's jaw drops, his phone still recording. No one believes it at first. The pilot lets out a nervous laugh. "That's impossible," he says, but his voice wavers. Then a crackle breaks the silence. The plane's intercom comes to life, and a voice from air traffic control booms through the cabin. "Urgent directive from Skylink headquarters. Passenger Amara Jones is confirmed as the founder of Skylink Air. All crew members are to comply with her instructions immediately." The words hit like a thunderclap. The pilot stumbles back, his bravado gone. The security officers mutter apologies, retreating down the aisle. The woman in the suit clutches her purse, her face flushed with embarrassment. Passengers murmur in disbelief, their eyes darting between Amara and the crew. Resolution, consequences, and accountability. The pilot, now sweating, steps forward, his head bowed. "Ms. Jones, I had no idea," he stammers. "I'm so sorry." Amara doesn't respond immediately. She stands, her movements graceful but commanding. She walks toward the pilot, stopping just inches away. The entire cabin watches, breathless. "You didn't ask for my name," she says, her voice low but firm. "You saw how I looked, how I dressed, and you decided I didn't belong. I don't need to flash wealth or titles to prove my worth. My power lies in how I handle situations like this." The pilot has no response. His shoulders slump, defeated. Moments later, a senior Skylink executive boards the plane, his face grim. He addresses the passengers, his voice steady but laced with urgency. "On behalf of Skylink Air, I apologize for this incident. The pilot in question will be suspended pending a full investigation. Skylink has a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination, no matter who the target is." The woman in the suit, who had been so vocal earlier, slips out of the first-class cabin without a word, her head down. The passengers watch her go, some shaking their heads. The live streamer is still filming, his feed now flooded with comments from viewers across the globe, praising Amara's poise and calling for accountability. Amara returns to seat A1. She sits, adjusts her jacket, and opens her book again, as if nothing had happened. The live streamer, still recording, pans to her. Amara notices and looks directly into the camera. For the first time, she smiles, a small, knowing smile that radiates strength. "People will judge you," she says, her voice clear and resonant. "They'll make assumptions based on how you look, how you dress, or where they think you belong. But you get to choose how you respond. True power doesn't need to be loud or flashy. It's in your resolve, your dignity, and the way you carry yourself when the world tries to push you down." She slips on a pair of headphones, flips open her book, and turns to the window. The plane's engines hum, and the aircraft begins to taxi. As it lifts off, soaring into the morning sky, the cabin is quiet, not with tension, but with awe. Amara Jones has just taught everyone on board a lesson they won't soon forget. Real power isn't in the seat you occupy. It's in the strength you carry within. And as that plane climbed higher, leaving the runway behind, so did Amara's story. It spread across social media, through that live stream, through news outlets, and into conversations around the world. A reminder that no one, no matter how ordinary they seem, should ever be underestimated. Because sometimes the person you dismiss is the one who built the very ground you're standing on.